Go ahead and bring in Eleanor Clift. She's a political columnist at the Daily Beast. Eleanor, thanks for joining us. First, what do you make of Biden's preliminary picks? What did he tell you about the direction he's taking his administration? Conservative pundits, of course, already calling it a recycling of Team Obama.
Well, this is the Democratic bench, and these officials worked, some of them in the Clinton administration, some of them in the Obama administration, and they've basically been getting ready for this moment. They've been in second and third positions, and now they're ready for the A team. You could call it a restoration, and some people in this country think that that's a criticism, but I think that's what the American people voted for, was a restoration and more of the normal ways this country behaves on the world stage. But a number of the designees have underscored the fact that this is 2020, it's not 2016, and they're not going to be running the same policy portfolio that the people who voted for Trump rejected and wanted to vote out the old Washington. So it's not status quo, but it's certainly, as your correspondent noted, it's certainly about experience, and it's about diversity, and it's a marked contrast to the cabinet that came in with President Trump. It's also a group of people who should not really encounter great controversies on Capitol Hill. And because the Senate is likely to be controlled by Republicans, they have virtually a veto power over anyone President Biden chooses. And so he has deliberately focused on people who are known commodities, who have relationships, most of them with people on the Hill. And I think it's significant that the climate czar will not be a cabinet position. It will be the National Security Council, so John Kerry does not have to face confirmation by the Senate. You would think, as a former senator, that would be easy, but there's such resistance to climate change here on the part of Republicans that President Biden is taking a courageous step to say that this is a foundation of his presidency, and that he wants somebody focused on that issue, which he has said basically poses an existential challenge to the planet.
No Republican picks so far, and no one that I noticed from the so-called progressive left of the party, the Warren-Sanders camp. Are you surprised?
Well, Janet Yellen, if she's named, she has won plaudits from the progressive wing of the party, and one of the progressive groups said if it's not Elizabeth Warren, they're happy with Janet Yellen. Elizabeth Warren comes from a state that has a Republican governor. Every Senate seat is precious, so I think that puts her out of the running. And Senator Bernie Sanders, who's been openly lobbying for labor secretary, also comes from a state with a Republican governor. So those are challenges. And the Progressive Change Coalition sent the Biden transition team a list of 400 names of people they would like to be considered for sub-cabinet positions. And that's where you could see the controversies emerge. These are jobs that that a lot of them nobody's ever heard of, but they do require Senate confirmation. And I think the progressive wing of the party would like to put some, savvy people there to push on regulations and so forth. And they may run into some static on Capitol Hill. But so far, it looks like smooth sailing, but that doesn't last long in Washington these days.
Have we lost significant time in the delay of this transition, or is this typical?
I actually think that Biden is moving quite aggressively, and what's most important is he announced his senior staff first before his cabinet picks. Bill Clinton, when he took office, announced the senior staff at the very end, and there was a lot of infighting, and he never did quite get organized until probably a year into his presidency. So it's the organizational skill here, and the discipline starts with the White House senior staff, and I think Biden is aware of that, having served for 8 years in a White House. And I think the key cabinet positions being announced right before Thanksgiving, and we'll probably get another wave of them in early December, I think that's on par. The only place where they've lost time, frankly, is on getting a handle on the pandemic. And the president-elect would like to begin to put in place the mechanisms that will ensure the delivery of a vaccine, because it looks like we will get one, more than one, fairly soon. But organizing that and making sure you are able to figure out who gets it, when, and where without running into a lot of static. I think the fact that they were kept shut out of the administration for a while, I think it's cost some. But I think this team can navigate it. I'm pretty confident about that.
Eleanor Clift from the Daily Beast, thank you for joining us.